Welcome to Michael Games, and got a lot of stuff for my Jeep today. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 packages. I think you guys know what this one is. Right there. It's an LED light bar, 50-inch curved. So I think what we'll start with is actually the brackets for it, which I think is this box right here. All right, let's get this bracket up here. Toss it over there. Ow, that is actually kind of sharp. Just cut myself on the edge there. Not bleeding, but okay. So we got some gaskets, or some kind of like plastic washers, some pretty big bolts. Those are not the same size as what I got for mine. We'll see what I need to do. I'm not sure if I'm going to use these bolts or the ones that are already in the Jeep. Yeah, these are like hexagons, where the ones that are actually in the Jeep are star, and this should go right against the windshield like this. Is that it? Okay, so yeah, it's just these two pieces in the box here, and then with this. So let's disassemble the Jeep. All right, so basically those bars go right here and on the other side, and I'll show you what the bolts look like. So this is what the bolts look like. We got these two here. I got this third one here, forgot about that one. And then we got this one right here. All right, guys, got this ratchet, got the star key on here. So basically you just put it in here. There is some paint in there, so it might make it a little difficult, but there we go, it's loose. And make sure you lube these up too once you're done, because you do not want these to rust. That would not be good. There we go. Not too bad, not too bad. All right, so I'm going to loosen these up and then we'll see what's next. Okay, so basically this just goes right here, and you just line up the 3 bolts or 4 bolts. Always forget about this one. And it'll go somewhere right about here, and then the light bar will go right above the windshield. Honestly, I thought this was going to be a little taller. It looks a little short compared to what I was really thinking it would be. I thought it would be like more right up here. We'll see what it looks like when we have it installed. All the bolts came out really clean looking, except the bottom one here. It's a little rusted. Honestly, it's not too bad, but I think I'm going to have to use those new bolts because they're probably longer for the bracket. All right, what I'm going to use now is just some brake cleaner and just spray it in here, clean it up a bit. You might be cringing right now, I don't know, but it's what I use. And you know what, if I need to redo the paint, that's fine. It looks pretty good. Just want to make sure it's all cleaned out, get the rust out of there, and then use some lube. I'll be using some Quicken CLP, which is actually the mil-spec diamond lube basically. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is just clean off this area. Just gonna get this paper towel wet. This is just clean, purified water. You could use really anything, but just want to clean it off because I'm going to be putting that bracket in there. Don't really want to have junk and stuff in there. And if you need to, you could always touch up the paint beforehand too, in case, you know, the paint's cracked or whatever. So just clean the area off as good as you can. So what we're going to do now is put this adhesive onto the inside of this. All right, so for the most part, that's good. You just want to kind of work it in there. So there we go. We got it on there good enough. All right, so what I'm going to do really quick is just put some diamond lube in these threads and then put a few more drops on the bolts themselves. And then maybe I'll get some paint or something in there later. Right here, so just put a small drop on there, basically like that. I'm going to have to get a different ratchet though, because that's not the right size for this. It's a different size, of course. What I may want to do, and what you may want to do, is actually just go to the hardware store and get replacement bolts that are longer, you know, the same size as this, but with the star key. That way you don't have to have so many different ratchets. Seeming everything on the Jeep is the star, not that. So that's kind of irritating that they use that, and I'm a little pissed with that. So I may go and get a different set of bolts. And there we go, it's torqued down. Don't want to do it too tight, you know, just make sure all these are good. I am really pissed that they're not the star keys. I would have thought because it's specifically for Jeep, it would come with it, but apparently not. But you know what? Sorry, you could get this at Harbor Freight for like $3 or whatever. That does it for this. Now let's go on to this. All right, so for this, we're gonna do this later. Here's the wiring kit for the light bar. This is for something else. this is for something else. You guys might know what it is. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it in this video or the next, because I don't want this video to be so long. But this is actually for a dual battery setup, so that might be for the next video, along with this wiring kit. But here's the rocker switch. See if you can see that. It says LED light bar. Click, click. Sounds pretty good. All right, it's time for the fun part. Getting the light bar out of the box. I'm a professional box opener. Actually, I just quit at Toys R Us. We got the brackets, which we don't really need these because we're putting it on there. Oh, you're fucking kidding me. It came with the freaking wiring kit that I've been waiting for 2 weeks because it got delayed for a week. Okay. All right, so let's get this thing out of the box. Carefully, I might add. Oh. All right. Here she is, baby. Woo! Thing is nice looking. All right, so let's set her back in here. Got to figure out how I'm actually gonna put her up there. Might need a second pair of hands. Some diamond lube on the threads of this bolt. This is the bolt that's going to be in the light bar. Okay, so I now have it installed. It's a little on an angle because this is curved and this is straight. So kind of like here's the bracket and here's the light bar. As you can see, it's like on an angle, kind of like that. So, I mean, we'll see how it is. It's a little, it looks like it might be twisting a little up here, but it's on there. It doesn't look like it's coming off. I took the two plastic washers that were from the mount box, put them here, and then two on the inside. So 2 on the outside, 2 on the inside. Did that for the same on the other side as well. All right, now it's time for the wiring kit. Okay, so let's do that. So now we just got to figure out, okay, so this is for the battery right here. This is the inline fuse. And then we got the circuit breaker there, or the relay. And then I believe this goes to the light bar, or the switch. No, this one goes to the switch, which, let me grab that for you. Bam. All right, so here's the switch. So these wires will go to this switch. As you can see, there's all these, ends here. So there's that, which will go inside the cabin of the Jeep. This end is what's going to attach to the light bar right over there. So the kit came with these. So this is where the wire from the light bar over there is going to go into, and we'll go take a look at that now. So we got the wires from the light bar here. We got the red on the bottom, the black on the top. And you're basically going to slide these in. I'm going to cut this wire so there's a little more of the wire going inside this here. Okay, so I got this wire cutter here, and then you basically put the wire through here, line it up, and that should be good. And there we go. Let's take a little more off there. And there. So that should be good enough. It looks like they have the end soldered a bit, so that makes it a little easier. There we go. And now we need to crimp this with this. Hopefully I didn't just break it. I kind of went a little too much there. Hopefully it didn't rip it. That looks like good. I'm going to tape this up with some electrical tape or maybe some spray paint so it doesn't get corrosion in there. And now we'll do it on the next one too. I now have it all crimped on there. And you just slide these together and basically they just go together. But now let's see how we're going to get this so it's not a whole mess. So we'll put this wire, I think right here should work. We'll see. We'll have to do a little testing to make sure it'll fit properly. But it should fit right there. Now what you can do is take this off, I believe. But I don't feel like doing that. That looks like a lot of work. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts, maybe more down here. Yeah, there's more down there. I don't feel like doing that, so I'm just gonna put it here. And what I'll do eventually is tape this up with probably electrical tape, or maybe get some shrink tubing and somewhat do something with that. I don't know, we'll see. All right, so there's a rubber grommet there that I just poked a hole through with a knife and shoved it through. Once I'm done, I could get some silicone and something and just squirt it in there so, no water gets through. But I'll show you where it's at. So there's the pedal. And it's just right there. And this is where it's coming out of. So I just push this through this way. because I thought it'd be easier than getting all the 4 or 5 pins through there. So now we got to figure out how we're gonna hook it up in the engine bay. It is really bright right now. All right, so now what I did is I disconnected the positive terminal, put those rubber grommets from the bracket that I didn't need in between it just so it doesn't touch. And then I loosened up the bolt so I could get the wire from the light bar hooked up to the positive, and then the negative hooked up to the negative. Okay, and then let's see, we got this, the relay. Haven't attached it yet because I have one here from these headlights, or spotlights, I guess you want to call them, that I didn't install. The person who owned the Jeep before me did that. And I may be getting rid of them because I don't really like them there. They're really big and bulky. But I got to figure out where to place this. And now I'm just going to plug this into the switch and we'll see how it looks. And there we go. So now that's connected. It's through the firewall. I'm going to have to clean it up with like the zip ties. Ignore that. Ignore that. Going to be getting rid of that soon. So let's go over here now. All right, so under here, it might be a little hard to see now. Here's these wires. We're going to plug these into the switch, and then we'll see how to mount the switch. Okay, so I'm going to try and install this into this. I think it'll fit. If not, I'll install it somewhere else. Either way, though, this thing's going to need to come off. So basically, you just pop this off with a screwdriver. So you just go like this, and then you just push up, and it'll pop it off. And then there are some other ones, so you just want to go down the line there and pop it off gently, but it'll come off. All right, so now that we got that popped off, just gonna lift it out. You may want to get a vacuum and vacuum it out because it's kind of dusty and dirty. All right, and now there are 2 screws right there and there. Just gonna get a Phillips screwdriver and take them out. All right, so once those screws are removed, that should pop loose and then go down here to the ashtray compartment, and you pop it out. I have it down in there already. And there's 1 screw in there. You're gonna unscrew that and it should come out. All right, and now that that 1 screw is taken out, the whole thing comes off. And now there's a few more screws there to get to that. So gonna have to remove that next. So again, once you get these screws off, you're gonna wanna probably get a vacuum. Not sure if you can tell because it's so bright and this is a GoPro, but there's a lot of dust on there. Again, with the white balance on the camera, I'm not 100% sure how it's set up compared to my Canon. But yeah, apparently there's actually powered wires going to these empty switches. I did not realize that. But either way, I'm going to unhook these and try and get the switch in there. All right, so what I'm doing is just wetting this napkin here. It's just water in a spray bottle. And I'm going to wipe this down to clean it up instead of using a vacuum. All right, for now, I think that's good. But later, I may get an air gun and spray it out. But so what you're going to do is just push this down and kind of tilt it up. And that loosens up this empty. Gotta get it from the bottom too. But you're going to pop that out and then that'll open up the spot there. All right, so once you got that loose, you can pop that out. Don't need it anymore. Just set it off to the side. Let's grab our new clip and we'll just push it right in there. Hopefully it'll fit. It might not. Let's see. If it doesn't fit, that kind of sucks. Yeah, okay, so I was wrong. It doesn't actually fit. So I'm gonna have to find somewhere else to place it, I guess. All right, so what I'm gonna try next is over here. There's a screw and another screw there. I'm gonna try and remove this and see if there's somewhere I can put the switch, like maybe up here or something. All right, so with this off, it was only the 2 screws, pops right off. It looks like there should be room for the switch right there. And here's the switch from the other thing that the other guy installed. Looks pretty decent, actually. But yeah, so I'm gonna put it back on and then try and mark it and then cut it out. Okay, so I've got it all lined up and that should be good. The metal comes to about here. So I'm gonna cut here, maybe move it over a tiny bit because there is a wall of metal right here as well. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is get a Dremel and then we're going to drill it out. All right, so now what we're going to do is cut open the new packaging for the Dremel tool. And there we go. We replaced it with a smaller one. All right, now that we get it off, we're just going to smooth the edges with the knife. Maybe use the Dremel later to smooth it down more. And now that we got it smoothed out and the edges, pops right in. And the other side, there we go. Looks pretty good. Let me know what you guys think. Okay, so now we just gotta wire the switch, which I got the wires popping through right there. Whoop, get them. A little hard to see, but yeah, they're right there, and then they just go down and through that. Not sure if you can see that part. So I just gotta follow this diagram and wire it up. All right, so I now have it fully hooked up and gotta put the faceplate back on. We'll see if it turns on after I hook the battery back up. All right, one last thing, make sure you hook up the battery. Make sure it's tight so it doesn't fall off. Now, moment of truth. Let's go in here, and looks like that's working. Now it's time to see if it lights up. All right, so I don't have the wire, all clean yet. I'll have to figure out how to actually get it to fit properly. Let's turn it on and see what it looks like. Bam. All right. Looks like one of the LEDs is out. Son of a bitch. This one right here, the third one on the bottom, is not working. And it looks like there's something on this one too. All right, guys, so I guess I'm gonna leave the video here because I'm not sure what I'm gonna do about that burnt out LED. Guess I'm gonna have to send it back. It's not gonna have enough time to do that because I leave in less than a week or so, or about a week now. So anyways, I hope you guys liked the video. If so, hit that like button. Let me know what you thought in the comments. Have a great day and see you next time. Maybe consider subscribing. All right, now that it's dark out, let's go see what the Lightbar looks like on the road. All right, guys, so as you can see, it's pretty dark back here. I'm gonna put my bright lights on. There's my bright lights. Now let's see what it is with the Lightbar. That's freaking bright. Bright lights didn't really do that much compared to the LED Lightbar. All right, let's go down here. Looks like it's a little darker. And boom. That lights up everything. That really lights up everything. Damn. So yeah, let me know what you guys think, but I think it's awesome. Again, you can't really drive with it on the road normally because, at least by me, technically, it's illegal. I mean, I only use it when it's really dark and there's no other cars around. I basically treat it as my bright lights.